1-800-234-DAWN. That is 1-800-234-DAWN to receive without obligation the free booklet offered. Please include the call letters of this station with your request. Ask your friends to listen to our program, won't you please? And now, goodbye, and may God bless you.
You're listening to KTWR, broadcasting from the beautiful island of Guam. Our program is heard each Sunday at 1500 hours Coordinated Universal Time, broadcasting on 15205 kilohertz in the 19-meter band. Coming up next is DX's Diary. This is KTWR, Agana, Guam, where hope knows no barriers.
Friends and fellow DXers, welcome to DX's Diary, the 5-minute weekly radio show produced and presented for Transworld Radio by your friend and host Arun Kumar Narasimhan from Chennai in India. This program is broadcast every Sunday in 15205 kHz in the 19-meter band from 1500 hours Coordinated Universal Time in Agana in the beautiful island of Guam. This program provides you all information that a DXer or an amateur radio operator needs. In the first segment, let us see how the sun and sunspots are helping radio broadcasts and listening. The sunspot number this week is 23, SFI forecast ranges from 98 to 102, and the A index ranges from 12 to 35. For the past several weeks, we have been broadcasting information about shortwave radio clubs across the world. From this week, for a change, we will continue our broadcast about the history of radio stations. This week, we have information about the history of radio broadcasting in Singapore. According to an article written by Mr. Gracie Lee and published on the Singapore Infopedia website, radio broadcasting began in Singapore in 1924 through the initiatives of a small circle of amateur radio enthusiasts and hobbyists. It was developed further by the commercial companies until it was nationalized by the colonial government in response to the threat of World War II breaking out in Southeast Asia. During the Japanese occupation of Singapore from 1942 to 1945, radio functioned mostly as a channel for propaganda. Public radio services made a post-war recovery under the British military administration, which lasted until the colonies returned to civil rule in April 1946. The history of radio broadcasting in Singapore began with the formation of the Amateur Wireless Society of Malaya in 1924. Shortly after obtaining a temporary transmission license, the interest group comprising mostly European expatriates commenced shortwave transmission from a studio in a union building at Collier Quay. Significant inroads were made in radio broadcasting in Singapore during the 1930s. The Empire Service of the British Broadcasting Corporation was inaugurated in December 1932, which expanded the array of programs available for resident listeners. This was followed by the establishment of Radio ZHI, the first professional broadcasting station in Singapore in 1933. Owned by the Radio Service Company of Malaya, Radio ZHI was a shortwave radio station that delivered static-free broadcasts. Despite its success, the station closed in 1936 when its license expired. The year before, the government had granted the newly formed British Malaya Broadcasting Corporation a monopoly license to operate broadcasting station and wireless broadcasting in Singapore. BMBC, as it is known, was the first large-scale commercial radio station in Singapore. The first test transmissions began in January 1937. To fulfill the mammoth task of serving the entire population in Singapore and southern Johor, the company built new studios as well as transmitting and receiving stations at Caldecott Hill. On 1 March 1937, the radio service was officially launched by Governor of the Straits Settlement, Shenton Thomas. Unlike previous local stations which operated on shortwave bands, BMBC broadcasts were made over medium wave bands so that they could be received on the more affordable medium wave sets. In 1938, shortwave transmissions were added to the extended broadcaster's reach to the rest of Malaya. The privately owned BMBC was nationalized and reorganized as a Malaya Broadcasting Corporation in 1940. At its headquarters in Cathay Building, 10 editors of Malaya Broadcasting Corporation prepared news bulletins in English, Chinese, Malay, Tamil, Hindustani, Urdu, French, and Dutch. Talks and air raid precautions were also added. Regular broadcasts were sometimes interrupted for military transmissions of coded messages. With return of civilian rule in April 1946, the Pan-Malayan Department of Broadcasting assumed the responsibility of providing radio services to Singapore and Malaya. This ushered in a new phase in the development of radio broadcasting in Singapore as a form of communal entertainment and mass media. Friends, we have come to the end of the program now. As in the past, I request you to send your listeners' logs, band scans, reception reports, views, and opinion about the program to dxsdiary@gmail.com. Until next week, this is your friend Anunkuma Narasimhan signing off. 73. Bye-bye.